So I'm Obi, and I am the founder of the HSCT portal, the Health and Social Care Tenders portal. I'm also the host of the Health and Social Care Business podcast.
Is Max, and I represent Sona.
So my name is Neil Collins. I'm the Associate Director for Christie Finance.
Yeah, my name is Uche Clark. I am the CEO of the USB Immigration Consultants.
Okay, my name is Dudley Sawyer. I'm a health and social care consultant, and I also am the co-chair for Skills for Care Race and Equity Reference Group.
I'm Rishi and I'm from Care Vision.
So I'm Obi, and I am the founder of the HSCT portal, the Health and Social Care Tenders portal. I'm also the host of the Health and Social Care Business podcast.
Oh my God, you would literally do so many things. I was expecting one thing and it's just incredible. And who is this?
Oh, this is Akimba. This is my little, what would I call him? My little handbag. Goes everywhere with me. We're here in the care show. We were at the march. She's just everywhere.
So what's the podcast called?
It's called the Health and Social Care Business Podcast, and it's basically a space where we speak to founders and experts, get information about what they do in the sector, primarily to promote the sector. So anyone who is doing anything amazing, solution bringers primarily, and experts. So we speak to them because we realize lots of providers are really, really busy working. So what we want to do, speak to experts like yourselves, get information, reduce it in bite size, and then pass it on to the providers. That's it.
I love that. And I love the fact that you're getting providers, because that's the whole thing with co-produced care. We were like, there's not enough people who are actually talking about the sector, who work in the sector and actually do it. There's like a whole void of people doing stuff like that.
Absolutely.
How long have you been doing it, first of all?
So the podcast, not long, less than a year. It's very new. So, yeah.
And what would you say is the most interesting thing that you've learned from doing it in the last year?
Oh my goodness, how amazing technology is. So my last podcast was with Mark, and I wasn't expecting how much outcomes you could get from AI. Yeah, so what he does is he uses VR, not AI, right? So he works with care homes, he works with SEND schools, and the outcomes have just been absolutely amazing, even to him as well. So yeah, that's been amazing.
I feel like AI has come along so much. Everything that I go to, a lot of the talks are all about AI. And for me, the jury's out at the minute. I just feel like it's when you have you used to use certain search engines and then there was Google, or you have like a new version of Microsoft that does things a bit better. I feel like it just does what we do already better, but I feel that's because I don't know a lot about it. So I'm going to speak to some more AI people around here and just see if someone can convince me that it is the most amazing thing that's ever going to happen. And what about your other consultancy business that you do?
Funny you said AI, because actually we're pivoting towards more AI based. Yes. So the portal is actually right now being redesigned, and it's going to be very AI focused. So AI, I'm pro AI. However, it's only as best as the user. So if you're already amazing, or if you're an expert, it just makes you a better expert. That's my position in it. So that's how I see the usefulness of it. So it doesn't replace what you do, it just enhances it. So, so the consulting, so what we do is bidding, tendering, and what we're trying to do is create a space where providers can go on a portal, and from the process of finding the opportunity to actually getting staff, we have all of that covered. So that's what we're trying to achieve.
I love that. That's so much. And also because it's all about getting the right bid now. All the local authorities are looking for the best provider, and you have to bid and you have to do all those things. So like having somebody who can help you give that edge is just, I think it's more important now than it ever used to be.
So the thing about what we do, which commissioners love, and when I say commissioners, the little commissioners we've spoken to, and we're still engaging commissioners and providers, is we do what you call an eligibility checking. So as bid writers, what we found is lots of times, not only do we get approached by people who aren't eligible for bids, but they go ahead and do it anyway, even if we say you're not eligible. So what that does is it floods the bidding process with providers who shouldn't be bidding. And then when it comes to the actual results, it delays the process. So what we've done is we've created a tool called the eligibility checking tool. So before you even bid, just use it, because there are standard selection questionnaires that you have to qualify for to bid. So rather than just bidding blindly, wasting time, money, and all of that, you could just use the eligibility checker and save yourself time. We also have a capacity building tool. So when you do check if you're eligible, if you're not eligible, you can also build your capacity.
That's amazing. That's all. So you have to sign up. Is it like a membership fee you have to pay to use all that? Great.
So right now it's free. Right now it's free because we're still building.
Right.
I'll call it the pilot phase. So we're still testing, see what's working. So yeah, for right now it's free.
I just think it's amazing, and I think it's really good for those small businesses who are coming up,
Absolutely.
who want to scale, who want to do more work, those community-based organisations. But if you can understand straight off the bat that, right, I don't have this policy or I'm not good, then you can focus on what you don't have rather than wasting a lot of time and then get to, have to submit in a week and then you've got to do all this work for it. So that's brilliant. I just think you're incredible. You've got him, he's only 5 months old and he is just so zen and so lovely. He's even got mum's kiss marks all over him. He's just so lush. He's been wonderful.
Thank you.
It's been great to talk to you both. Hi, so can you tell me what your name is and what company you represent today?
My name is Max and I represent Sona.
Excellent. So I can see Sona looks like it does scheduling, HR, payroll, engagement. And you've got AI components. So can you give me a little bit of a summary of who you guys are, what you do?
So I guess back in the 90s and early 2000s, lots of care providers started using rostering systems like Access or Civica or whatever it might be. And they're really good at moving the whole industry away from pen and paper. And once everyone realized that these kind of systems needed to integrate with HR and payroll, they were able to acquire lots of different companies, but the systems wouldn't really speak to each other. And then if we kind of fast forward to the later 2000s, you'd have providers like Deputy, and they'd be really good at essentially having much better user interface, and they're really good single point solutions at rostering. But again, they weren't really built for care's complexity, so it'd be really hard to, for example, track commissioned hours against delivered hours and things like that. So yeah, that's what we do. It's basically all-in-one platform, HR, payroll, rostering, where the integrations speak to each other, and kind of under the surface, we're building out this AI suite that's allowing managers to free up tons of time, reduce agency, better reporting, things like that.
That sounds amazing. And I've talked to a few tech companies like this, and I've talked to a few people who use them, and one of the main complaints from providers is that the systems don't really integrate very well, or it does a little bit of everything but not everything at all. One thing I might have missed it, do you do e-meds as well?
No, so what we'll do is we'll have integrations with some of our other partners as well. So for example, with Care Planning, we partner with Nourish, they're just around the corner. For email, we've got Camascope and Compliance with Radar and other companies like that. But generally find it'd be really hard for one company to be able to do everything. So we'll predominantly specialize in supported living and care home space. And yeah, we just kind of stick to rostering, HR and payroll, and we'll let the other experts do what they're good at as well.
I love the fact that you mentioned supported living, because that's sometimes the thing in social care especially that gets missed. People think about care homes. A lot of these systems are developed to deal with care homes or home care, but supported living is sits somewhere in the middle. So that's really good. Can I understand a little bit how you develop your products? Do you consult with care providers? How do you develop your offering, and do you adapt to the changes in the services?
So the story is actually quite interesting around Sona, because I think back in around 2015, the founders had essentially this agency platform, and they were using their own separate rostering system where we had lots of clients that were asking about actually using our rostering system. Anyway, because we predominantly sold to the hospitality space at that point, the company was rolled down during COVID, but it was relaunched under the Sona name, where we were going to now predominantly focus on social care. And then once we started signing with some larger clients, like Infinia, for example, Google caught wind of what we were doing. So they realized that they wanted to invest in us so they could basically build out more AI functionality around the business. We were kind of co-developing the AI modules. I'm not sure if it will show up there, but we were co-developing these kind of AI modules alongside Google, alongside our partners, so we could basically figure out what works for them, what's going to help them cut agency and keep more staff and do things like that. So yeah, basically working alongside our partners, Google, and our clients.
Great, I love that. I really want to understand more about AI. I don't know much about it.
Yes.
Can you give me, in a practical sense,
Yes.
What difference do you think AI is going to make to providers and the way that they do things at the moment?
No problem. So go back to around 2022, 23, ChatGPT comes out, everyone's using it. They'll basically put in some prompts and they'll get some kind of output text. What Sona's focusing on at the moment is more agentic AI, and throughout the course of the year, we're going to be rolling this out. So
Right.
Agentic AI, it's like, so you'll have like AI agents. So there will be people that will come in to, for example, help with rostering, help with payroll, admin, and things like that, so that managers don't have to spend so much time behind laptops making rosters. And as opposed to doing that, they can focus on training their teams or making sure their team are delivering more person-centered care and things like that, which is probably what they're best at, helping other people help people.
So you're saying that basically the AI will be like a care coordinator. It will be able to do the rostering or help with the
It will
rostering?
be able to do, to some degree, both, where it will essentially nudge the manager to make way better, way more efficient and smarter rostering decisions. So for example, if you say let's say we have Doris who needs a certain number of one-to-one hours of care, maybe she only likes to be supported by women, and next Wednesday she's going to need to be supported by someone who can drive, because she needs to be driven to the hospital for some kind of checkup or something. Building that complexity into a roster is really, really complicated, and it takes tons of time for managers, and that's just one example. Another example with rostering might be, let's say Jenny's working a certain number of hours each week. She's contracted for so many hours. On Wednesday, she calls in sick, but it wasn't picked up in the TNA system. So when she goes off Wednesday and it's not recorded, maybe that care provider will end up getting agency in. Let's say she comes back on Friday, however, because the TNA wasn't recorded, she's now going to get paid overtime when she hasn't worked those additional hours. So sometimes we get these providers that are paying 2 or 3 times to deliver one set of hours, which is crazy. So again, with AI, they're going to be able to kind of filter out these potential issues and just basically manage your workforce in a way more intelligent way.
And is that because it all connects together? So the care plans, so you'll know what Doris or whoever is doing, because the care plans will then connect to the rostering system.
That's right.
And because of all of that's happening, the AI, invisible helping hand,
Exactly.
will see everything that's going on between the systems, which a care coordinator or manager might not necessarily see unless they pick up the phone or get told. But if that communication is missed, then the AI will pick it up and say, hang on a minute, you're double paying, when payroll happens. So that's how it's all about the integration, really, isn't it? Yeah. That's amazing. Do you know what? I've learned a lot, and you've helped me. I'm getting there with this AI. I'm getting there.
Tricky one to crack.
It's a tricky one. It's been really, really great talking to you. Thank you so much. Can you let me know what your name is and what the company is you're representing today?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name's Katie and I work for Birdie, and Birdie is a home care technology provider.
Great. So there's a lot of technology providers out here today. I absolutely love your stand as well. I think it's amazing. It stood out to me. So what type of stuff does technology, could be anything. So how are you helping providers, and what kind of products do you provide?
Yeah, great question. So how we're helping providers, I'd say there's 2 main ways: helping them grow their business, helping them stay compliant. And what Birdie does is we help them to work smarter and not just harder. And we do that in 3 key ways. So the first is Birdie's an all-in-one system. So you've got all your finance, care management, rostering, and much more all in one system. So everyone's working together. We also then use all of the information that providers are putting into that system on a day-to-day basis and turn that into insights that they can use to zoom out, have a bird's eye view of the business, and see where they want to focus on.
Yeah. I just want to say, I just caught my mind when you talked about zooming out and for having providers understand their business a bit better, because a lot of technology is gathered and you feel like you're constantly putting in lots of information, but then it's like the so what factor. What are you doing with all that information? So obviously I've got a provider background, so I'm really interested in how providers are using that information, or how you would recommend that they use the information that you're able to gather from all the products that you provide.
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think one of the key ways is monitoring their care management and compliance. So spotting trends like how are carers performing? Does anyone need extra training? Or how prepared do we feel for CQC? Because we've also got reports that directly align with what the CQC are looking for, so we can help providers be really ready for that as well. But also for finance teams or directors, they can look at which packages are making the most money, which aren't making as much money as we expected, and again, see where they need to focus on. So it's just helping people make the right decisions.
That's amazing. And do you do that through dashboards? Do you connect to Power BI? How does that work?
Yeah, so we've got over 50 different reports, and then we've got 3 dashboards that collate lots of information from those reports.
And what kind of providers use you? Are they large providers? Are they micro, small ones, or just like a variety?
Huge variety. We've got some of the big names here. So we've got Alina, Christie's Care, Finch, but we have a number of micros as well, so it's a big range.
And is that all types of businesses? So from supported living and home care and care homes, yeah?
Predominantly domiciliary care, that's what we're best at, but we do also have supported living. We work with Housing 21, for example, and things like some other providers as well.
Amazing. And I'm asking everyone about AI at the moment because I feel like it's so big, and I feel like it's coming, it's on its way, but a lot of the time I don't really know what value add it's gonna bring to the sector. So maybe you've got some more insights about how Birdie is developing their products with AI.
Yeah, it's such a big topic at the moment. Where we're at, and we gave a talk on this yesterday, is we are focusing on utilising technology to work smarter, but without AI right now. We are focused on getting the foundations right, getting all the brilliant basics right. In the future, we're looking at things like transcribing care plans, utilising AI, but right now we really are focusing on getting those basics right and looking into that for the future.
I think that's just such a good idea because sometimes a lot of the systems that work already, they aren't quite right for providers. So getting that right, then the rest will come later because AI itself is still developing. So yeah, no, that's amazing. And how are you finding the conference today?
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, absolutely loving it. Yeah, I've met so many. It's such a great opportunity to meet so many people, learn more about care agencies. So yeah, it's been brilliant.
Have you been to any of the talks yet?
No, I've been on the stand. I've been on the stand the whole time, so didn't get to go to any talks.
Fair play, fair play. Well, thank you so much for talking to me today. So, can you tell me what your name is and what your organisation is?
So, my name's Neil Collins. I'm the Associate Director for Christie Finance. We are the sister company, Christie & Co. So Christie & Co, an agency to sell care homes, been selling care homes for 90 years. They now sell lots of other businesses as well, hotels, pubs, children daycare, things like that as well. About 45 years ago, the sister company Christie Finance was created. We are a commercial finance brokerage, so individuals and businesses looking for finance to either purchase or refinance existing care homes, they come to us and we speak to lenders on their behalf in obtaining the finance for them.
That's great. And what have you seen in the sort of mortgage market at the moment? Are you seeing a lot of cost pressures at the moment, but are you seeing it being quite buoyant and people are still looking to get finance to buy properties and businesses?
So it's still a market that's very active. There are more buyers than sellers. So what we are seeing is a lot of care homes will come in the market, and historically where you might only have maybe 5 to 10 people sort of making offers on it, you can have right up to 20, 25 offers. So it is a seller's market at the moment, which has put additional pressures on people buying it because you end up asking a higher asking price, and then through the finance side of things, you still need to get it valued, and what if the value doesn't come up? So there's all things that need to be taken into consideration, and this is where a good broker can help. Because we work these problems on a day-to-day basis. We know these problems. We can have the conversations with lenders and not get tied up in a lot of the red tape that and you run a care home. You don't speak to banks to do finance. That's why you have your solicitors, your accountants, and you can have your broker. That's what we do. That's how we help.
That's amazing. So if you've got, because I'm quite surprised to hear that there's not that many people selling, because you hear a lot of the things about it's really expensive to run care agencies and care companies at the moment, and that maybe people will think they have to sell because they can't run their businesses anymore. But maybe that's a little bit premature. Maybe that's coming down the line.
Yeah. Maybe it's not a case of it's less care homes coming on the market, but there's just so many more people trying to get into the market, so it's made it look different.
Yeah.
But it's, a lot of people want to get into it. A lot of the larger corporates are buying up a lot of the smaller care homes. They're saying it's easier to, if you're already a large corporate, to turn around maybe a slightly struggling smaller care home. That's where the costs really do hit hardest. So it's a very strange market. There's a lot of things you have to be aware of, whether or not you're local authority led, whether or not you're privately funded, pros and cons to both. Again, these are all things that you need to look into when you're buying a care home, and even refinancing your care home. People might buy a care home, initially a first-time buyer, might have to go for relatively expensive finance to start off with, but 2 to 5 years' time, that is when you can look and say, well, actually, I can now refinance, or maybe my margins are better, I've looked at things and done things differently to the previous owner, and get a better level of finance, again, via a broker or going direct yourself. And, so these all things, it's a constantly evolving market.
Yeah. So you act for people who are looking to buy property. So if you are thinking, I'm in a really good position, or, I am very good at running care homes and I think I could want to upscale, what are the things that people need to do to prepare to come to you? What would you ask for? How do people need to sort out their accounts or think about things they need to do?
If you're buying a care home, we normally we'll happily speak to you about a care home that you're looking at beforehand. We have to have a look at the financials, the last year's audited accounts, maybe any management accounts. We always look at CQC registration, understand where that is at the moment. There's another stand here, carehome.co.uk. That's always a very good one to have a look at because it gives reviews and it actually gives them detailed about these care homes. Doing your research about said care home is really important because you just don't know what can come out of it. You go and visit a care home and it can look great, but maybe you don't see that maybe skeletons in the closet. And these sort of websites, and especially CQC, we know CQC have had their issues at the moment, and timings and things like that. We know they're going through a change at the moment, so we'll see how that affects things going forward. Do your research, have a look at the financials, work out, is it an asset or a sale purchase? Because that will affect the purchase as well. If it's an asset purchase, you're going to have to do a brand new CQC registration, so that's going to add 10 weeks onto the timeline. I think people forget about these things. If it's a share purchase, then you're buying the business, so therefore that isn't there. And there's pros and cons to both. Quite often it's down to the vendor who's actually selling it, whether or not they want to sell the business or the asset. Again, just things that can suddenly come out of nowhere. And then it's having that conversation with someone like myself or a bank manager, if you're already trading or things like even refinancing, you're buying an additional care home. It's being ready to sort of go, this isn't a quick process. You're probably looking at 6 months, really, start to finish. On the day you put your offer in, it's accepted, to the day you actually walk through and get the keys.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's enough just buying a house, all the admin and stuff you've got to do. So I've learned a lot, actually, just the 5 minutes talking to you. That's been amazing.
We'll happily speak to anyone.
Thank you. And your passion for it definitely comes through. I didn't think you could have so much passion for financing care homes, but definitely it comes through. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Pleasure.
So, if you can tell me your name and what company you represent.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Janine. I work for carehome.co.uk. So we're the leading online review site for the care home. So we're an online care home directory. Part of that service is that we have a care help team, and that's who I work for.
Great. I'll just stop you there because I only knew carehome.co.uk. I know a little bit about the homecare.co.uk, but I don't know anything about the care help team. So that seems really, really interesting. So can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. So as part of the service that we provide, we offer a free of charge service for care seekers. So anybody that's looking for a care home for their loved ones or for themselves, can contact us. A lot of the time we're finding that care seekers are getting overwhelmed with search for care. They don't know where to start. They don't know which homes to choose, which ones are more suitable. So we help with that process. So they will phone us, they'll contact us, we'll go through some questions with them, we'll have a chat with them and discuss what the person's care needs are, so that we can try and match the most suitable homes to them. We'll then create a short list of care homes for them that we send over to them by email. And then we also put them in contact with those homes that we believe would be suitable, so that those homes can then contact the care seekers to arrange visits, assessments, etc. and things like that. So yeah.
That is so helpful, and I think when you actually come to a point where you need care for a loved one or for yourself, everything that's going on in your life is such an upheaval and it's so stressful. To have somebody that comes along and helps navigate that landscape of what's out there, what you should be looking for and what suits their needs is just so important. Yeah, how long has it been going on for, this help?
The Care Help team has been going for roughly around about 2 years now. So yeah, we're getting a lot of really good feedback, and we're getting a lot of sort of care seekers that are saying this is a really useful service. It's really helpful. I was so overwhelmed when I was looking for care for mum, dad, etc. They didn't kind of really know where to start. They were kind of looking at a barrage of homes and didn't know which ones were the best and things. So we kind of do a lot of that legwork for them and narrow them down. Sometimes they'll ask us, they're a bit unsure about the sort of complexities of looking for care, things like funding, fees, things like that.
That's amazing.
Guide them. We don't give advice. We can only give information. But if we can't help them, we will then also put them in touch with organisations that may be able to help them as well. We do have a really good care advice section on our website as well, so we sometimes will signpost people to the right kind of care advice section for them. So we kind of do a whole sort of general just assist really, and try and kind of take some of the pressure off the people looking for care.
And how do people get in touch with you? Is it through carehome.co.uk?
So you can go onto our website. There will be a pop-up that comes up about the Care Help team. It will tell you all the information and things, and then it will give them the telephone number to call in, and then they can just call us from there.
Brilliant. That was really informative. I really enjoyed talking to you. Thank you so much. Hello. Can you tell me your name and what company you represent?
Yeah, my name is Uche Clark. I'm the CEO of USB Immigration Consultants.
And what does USB Immigration Consultants do?
So we're a immigration law firm, and we specialise in personal and business immigration. And that involves us assisting companies that want to bring in staff members to the UK. So especially with the care show today, carers, senior carers, nurses, care practitioners. So if they have a sponsorship license, we assist with the license application, assist with the sponsorship, and then we assist with the visa application for the individual as well. And then from the personal side of immigration, we deal with all the usual kind of visas like spousal visas, student visas, those kind of things.
See, that's really helpful, because I think for a lot of care organisations, all of that admin on top of everything else that people have to do can be quite stressful. So just to take all of that away from people and just manage it is just amazing. How did you start?
Well, I've been doing immigration now for more than 20 years. And I've always been an employee. And then last year I decided to set up my own business. So it's been a year plus now. So we set up USB Immigration Consultants. And yeah, I literally love my job. So now I'm my own boss. I love it even more.
I think that's great. What are the kind of issues that you find coming up? I see that you do training as well. What kind of training that you do?
So those that have a sponsorship license, we assist them with the management side of the sponsorship, because you have a lot of duties and responsibilities that a lot of organisations are not necessarily on top of or aware of. So we also do what are called mock audits. At the moment, the Home Office are doing a lot of audits, and they're trying to see if licence holders are compliant. And if they're not, unfortunately, a lot of companies have had their licence revoked. So we offer the training and the mock audits to ensure that they're up to standard. So if they do get visited by the Home Office, they have very little things to worry about, basically.
Brilliant. And how can people get in touch with you if they want to find out more?
So we have our LinkedIn, we have our website, USB Immigration, same tag for the LinkedIn as well as the website. And yeah, most of the socials as well.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us. Okay, can you just tell me who you are and what you're doing in the EDI space?
Okay, my name is Dudley Sawyer. I'm a health and social care consultant, and I also am the co-chair for Skills for Care Race and Equity Reference Group. And at the moment, I would say, an inclusion trainer, consultant, but someone who just makes retention and staff be happy. That's what I do.
Do you know what I didn't ask as well? How did you get into this space? Like you didn't start off doing that. How did you get into social care?
So my background was I've been working in care homes. My mum and dad ran care homes, and that's where it started out. I was thrown in at an early age, and I worked myself up in every position possible, from care worker, manager, trainer, everything possible.
Lovely.
When I'm going into organizations now, we're looking at things around retention. So if you're a happy worker, you're likely to stay a lot longer. So the money, unfortunately, in social care isn't, if you haven't got the memo right now, you're not here for the money, but actually you're going to stay if you're included and you feel like you belong. I think that's where the big element is around more inclusion now.
Absolutely, and there is a whole piece around belonging actually. That, for me, it brings it all together. You know, do I belong in the place that I'm working? Do I feel like I'm valued? And I think sometimes with everything that providers have to think about, sometimes that goes to the bottom of the list, but actually that is one of the most important things, because you spend most of your time at work. So what kind of organisations are you training or running workshops for?
So I'm working a lot now with care groups, and so what they're doing is they would say, listen, it started a lot with international recruitment, but now it's been rolled out for all staff. So we looked at things around, if international recruits come into the country, what's their understanding around LGBTQIA? But then we found out that all staff, what were their needs and concerns around that? We also thought about, if you have someone from a different culture and you're not sure what to do, how can you provide them the care so that's person-centered? So we looked at the cultural-centered side of things as well. So it's a lot deeper, but it's really providing care for everyone. It's not making judgment, it's about how we get people to have the best level of care so they feel that they are themselves in whatever environment they're in.
What I love about that is you're thinking about it very holistic. So it's not just, right, I'm just going to train on staff, or I'm just going to train on how people we support. It's the whole picture, which I think it all ties together.
There's one last point that I think I want to make, and I find that in the actual global sense, there's been lots of issues around EDI, DEI, and is it dead or is it not coming out? I think when we talk about health, it really crosses the gap, bridges the gap, because health is not about the color of your skin or your religion or your gender. It's about getting someone to be well. And I think that's one of the things that people realize that's outside of the scope of what's going on from a HR and admin point of view. This is about someone's needs. So getting culturally competent and understanding of someone is probably as important as anything.
That is a wonderful note to end this conversation on. It's not just about something that's done over there that can be left to the side. It's integral to someone's well-being, health, equality, who they are, belonging. It all ties in together. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dudley. So can you tell me your name and your organisation?
I'm Rishi and I'm from Care Vision.
Lovely, and we've known each other for a while, and I've seen Care Vision be on a smaller stand, and now it's on this fantastic stand. And you did an invite-only session yesterday, and I was learning about what you're doing, and it's just fascinating. So we'll get into it a little bit, but I just want to understand, where did the vision come for Care Vision?
Well, it's been an amazing journey over 7 years. It started back when my parents started their first care home. We all lived together in that care home, lived with the people we supported. I then went on to work in the care group, and we tried lots of digital solutions that were made by geeks that didn't really understand the care sector. So we decided to create our own, and that's where Care Vision was born. And yeah, I remember those days too, Sophie, when we were carrying our own stand in and setting everything up, and it's really nice to get to a stage now with the amazing support of our community of clients to sort of take Care Vision to the next level now on our journey into AI.
What would you, for anyone, because I know there's actually a few people I know who were thinking of starting something like this, what would you say is the one or couple of main things that helped you scale Care Vision to what it is?
I really think it's through the network that exists within social care. I'm very fortunate that I didn't have to do big marketing and go and sponsor awards and do that, because the product itself spoke for itself, and the clients who are passionate about social care did that marketing for me. They then went and spoke to their network, and then I was put in touch with other people, and then we grew organically in that way. And in the 7 years we've been going, we haven't lost a client, because that's how well we look after people. So we can sustain it. It's not just about saying digital transformation for a gimmick and actually still leaving gaps in compliance. We're actually making a difference, making people save time and getting to spend more human time together, which is what we're really here for.
Absolutely. Now, when I was at the talk yesterday, you talked a lot about AI, and definitely a theme of these Vox Pops that I've been doing is understanding AI, because I'm not skeptical about it, but I'm skeptical around how people are kind of making it out to be something that's going to change the world. I'm not quite seeing it yet, but on your talk, some of the things I thought, oh, actually, that would be really good for care. So can you talk about some of the tangible benefits you think that AI will give the care sector?
Definitely. I think it's really good to be skeptical about AI in care, because it's always going to be a human-driven sector. Humans always have to make the decisions. We've always got to focus on connection. People are concerned that AI is going to take over, and then maybe care plans and the way that we care for people is not going to be individualized. So it's really important that AI is going to be the guide. The human is going to make the last call. And I was talking about yesterday how Formula One have used the data and analytics available through AI to make those human decisions. There's still going to be a human driver behind that wheel, making those decisions, making those calls. But it's great when you've got the information now to make the best possible decision. And that's how I see AI fitting into social care. So I think it's really important. Don't go into the first thing that you see. Really interrogate your AI and make sure that you're, from a GDPR perspective, hitting the things that you need to. So it's very important to approach it with caution, but at the same time, the possibilities of what we can do are going to open up that time for more human connection.
So one of the things that you talked about, which had my ears prick up a little bit, is that you've got all the daily notes, but there's something in your system that will, using AI, will help summarize the daily notes, which you said would be quite good for handovers, so people can see a summary of what's happened for that individual. I was paying attention, and then I was like, oh, this could actually be really good. Yeah. So have you got any other examples of things like that?
We've got so many occasions when we get into routines in care services, handovers, writing accident forms. All of this, we're sitting in a corner on a device away from the person we're supporting. So we've always got to look for ways that admin part can be managed in that way. So if I've written 20 notes for Sophie in a day, rather than having to go through and think, what did Sophie do at the beginning? The AI is going to summarize the daily activities for Sophie in a lovely little paragraph. This just saves time. That handover doesn't have to be as long. I can spend more time with the people that we're supporting. So we're exploring and looking at those different instances where the AI can take over the admin and do that. And I think there'll be lots of opportunities for that in the highly regulated sector that we work in.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that the organisation has grown from people who actually deliver care. How do you involve the sector still now that you're into the kind of tech industry? Are you still connecting with either people who use services or care providers who use the systems to make sure they're still relevant for how that they're operating today?
Well, we've launched Care Vision AI at the Care Show this year, and the way in which we did it, we invited some of our top clients to a special VIP event that you were at, Sophie, as well. And one of the secrets to our growth and success is involving the community of clients, inviting them to give us that feedback. Who's going to know about caring for their individuals better than the people actually doing it? And any companies that turn away from that feedback and say the computer says no, you're missing a trick. Because that is the value. Listen to the sector, listen to the people with experience, and then feed it back into the system. And that's how we've been able to evolve and grow. And now with AI inbuilt within our system, we're fit for the future for the years ahead.
I think it's incredible. I think you're very far ahead in terms of like how you're using AI already, even though you're quite a young company. So I'm really excited to see what the next few years bring you. So thanks for talking to us today.
Thank you, Sophie.
So can you just let us know who you are and what company you represent?
I'm Jerry McMurdy. I'm a dementia specialist at QCS Quality Compliance Systems.
Amazing. And what is QCS doing around dementia at the moment?
So we have a dementia centre, which is a digital support system for our customers. So it's including the internationally well recognised PAL assessment, the pool assessment level. That's a holistic cognitive assessment, which we've created as a digital tool with the creator Jackie Poole, into an assessment which looks at all manner of activities of living, including washing, dressing, but also communicating, using objects. And then that creates a digital assessment with carers' prompts and guidance based on the pool support levels, which takes support from the early stages of dementia right through to the more advanced stages. The guidance and the tools that support that assessment are written in language that will support carers, look at how they can reflect on what they're doing to support that person in a person-centred way, but also in a way that resonates with that person's needs, their backgrounds, their interests. And we all have other resources that help supervisors and managers look at staff competencies. We've got an observation tool that's accessible and sustainable to do. And again, we also have other competency tools to embed best practice, help staff develop their skills and their role so that they can continue to support people. So managers don't always have to be kind of literally watching and seeing what's going on. They can help empower their staff and train them to provide care in whatever setting.
That's amazing, because it's really holistic. You're kind of like helping all angles, not just about the person and what their needs are, but also what the staff needs are to meet the needs of the people. So that's really intuitive. So what actually does QCS do? Actually, I need to go back a little bit. Because yours are very specialist part of what they do, specialist offering. And what is the main package that they do?
So in addition to that, QCS has our compliance centre, which includes policies and resources. So our policies are written by people who've worked in the sector in a range of roles. They're sense checked and they're updated when CQC makes any changes. We're just rolling out an AI feature which is enhancing that support. So it's an AI tool that uses our policies and our resources as its core, and therefore it gives more assurance that way. But we're also adding features that enable you to simplify a policy by asking AI to do a summary or a quiz. So that's another way of helping to embed learning and giving managers and leaders assurance that their staff are learning and understanding how they can make a difference and putting that into practice. We have, in addition to the compliance centre, within it a resource centre with hundreds of resources, right from recruitment to onboarding to infection control to clinical information, and also business support and development. And we have another option, our audit centre, which is a digital solution to help providers look at how they can embed a good governance system using audits and action planning and oversight to help them understand how they can make sure they're compliant, but also making sure their care is effective and responsive.
That's amazing. There's just so much that you're doing in this space. Thank you so much for talking with us. Can you just tell me your name and your organisation, please?
Yes, my name's Josh and I'm from Arjo Huntley.
And what does your organisation do?
So we do a variety of equipment for long-term care and acute settings to better the lives of patients and residents.
Great. So I can see you've got loads of stuff here. You've got an amazing spa bath, and you've got this chair. I'm not quite sure what it does. Do you want to maybe talk me through the bath? It's drawing me to it. So
this is our brand new premium bath. So we're targeting care homes, hospitals, hospices, really to give the best quality of care to those residents that need it when it comes to bathing.
So what does this bath do? It looks amazing. And if we can come a bit closer just to see, yeah.
So it's got a variety of different functions, so we can raise and lower the bath, and it comes alongside this chair, again, to make it easier for the healthcare professional to get the patient or resident into the bath.
Right.
You can see the ambient lighting on the outside and both on the inside, so again, just to promote a sense of wellness and relaxation. This will be one of the most premium baths to hit the market for the last number of years, so we're really excited about it.
Do you know what I like your focus on baths? Because I think when you are living in a care home and you've got limited mobility, sometimes it's those smaller comforts that we all take for granted that you actually want to make a song and dance about. You actually want to have a bath that looks like a mini spa, that's got lights, and bathing can be a bit of an effort because you physically just can't jump in a bath. You need a lot of support to do it. So when you get in there and it looks like this, and this is really nice, it's really thoughtful. How do you come up with the designs?
I think the whole point of this, you see the lighting, again, just to make people feel at ease. You're looking at patients that maybe have Alzheimer's or dementia, we're trying to make the bath as friendly as possible. So stereotypical bathing in this space, the baths don't maybe look like a normal bath, whereas the bath we've got here, as you can see, it's a lot bigger, but it does resemble what you maybe see in a normal bathroom or home.
That's amazing. And it's mainly care homes that you provide products to?
Yeah, so I'm part of the long-term care team, so we focus mainly on the community market, so care homes, local councils, and then we have an acute side of the business that focus on hospitals, hospices, and that part of the market as well.
And how can people find out more about your organisation?
So you can go on Arjo. If you type in Arjo on Google, we'll be the only company that comes up, and you get our information on there. Or if anybody wants to take any of our brochures, they can scan the barcodes in there, and it will take you directly to the website.
Great, thank you so much for talking to us today.
Thank you so much.